On one hand, it appears that even the Trinamool has not been able to ignore the BJP's majoritarian political posturing, that you've had Mamata Banerjee having to announce her Gotra publicly, and then on the other hand, now she's getting mocked for making this appeal to Muslims, saying all of you have to come together and vote for me as a bloc.
Vasu, I think what is very dangerous today, even more dangerous than the Prime Minister's venomous invective, is that the media seems to bind to the BJP's narrative, and we as the opposition are always supposed to come back, sort of, attack their narrative and defend ourselves. As in Parliament, where I think the House belongs to the opposition, I think in a majoritarian rule such as what the BJP is inflicting on India today, I think it is a bounden duty of the media to not buy into the BJP's narrative and let the opposition come forward with their own narrative. So I think this kind of pantomime that the Prime Minister is engaging in every day each time he comes to Bengal, this is the first time I think I've seen a Prime Minister electioneering on a daily basis to unseat a Chief Minister. So I think the jury is out on who exactly is scared of what.
But let me say this though.
Hold
on. No, I completely agree that, and by the way, as you know that on NDTV and particularly on this show, we call out majoritarianism, we call out the bigotry and, the sort of communal campaign of the ruling party all the time. But my question is that whether you oppose it or not, is it in a sense forcing the hand of opposition parties, including of yourself, to try to find a way of not losing the majority vote by, as I said, having, it could be Arvind Kejriwal reciting the Hanuman Chalisa, it could be Mamata Banerjee having to say, listen, my Gotra is XYZ, whatever it was. Is that becoming an unfortunate casualty of this type of politics?
No, I don't think it is. Unfortunately, the kind of mind games that the BJP plays, the BJP is only engaged in mind games. So now, for example, Mamata Banerjee is born into a Hindu Brahmin household. I am born into a Hindu Brahmin household. It's not something I was chosen. It's by birth. It's not something I flaunt on my forehead. It's not something she flaunts on her forehead. But when, for example, if she's speaking and she just says, my Gotra is Mamati Manu, and then in part of the discourse she says, well, actually it's Chantilya, I don't think she's saying it to sort of tell people, oh, by the way, I'm an upstart Hindu. I don't think so at all. But if she doesn't say it, then the BJP is going to say, look, she's actually a Brahmin. She's trying to hide it to appease Muslims. If she says it, they're saying, look, finally you've bitten the dust. Finally you've had to come and proclaim your good.
Right.
So, it sort of heads I win, tails you lose, whichever way the BJP plays it their way. And I don't think the Hindu majority in Bengal or in any other state for that matter, a part of it might buy into the divisive invective of the BJP. But I do think that as far as Bengal is concerned, 80% are still in villages and rural Bengal.
Yeah.
And for them, the survival is very much roti, kapda or makan. It is development. And I think that's what this election is going to be on.
But what do you make of also the fact that the BJP is making much of, what they call Trinamool thuggery, which they say continues to bedevil this election. There's been video that's emerged, which you must have seen, of EVMs being found in a Trinamool candidate's house. Now, when an EVM was found in the car of a leader of the BJP in Assam, everyone made a big deal about it, rightly so. But then you've had this as well in West Bengal.
Well, they've made a big deal of this as well, and rightly so. If the election commission instead has been charged, the EVMs are in charge of the office of the election commission. Now, if you had told me that the Trinamool leader had gone and jumped into where the EVMs were stored and gone and stolen it and put it in his own house, I would have said, yes, that's a very serious offense. In this case, it seems like the presiding officers or the polling personnel who come under the superintendence of the election commission had willingly gone with these EVMs and put them somewhere that they were not supposed to do. I mean, that is the narrative that even the election commission is putting out. So I think that is something that the election commission is supposed to do. Even in the case of the Assam case, it was not that the BJP guy stopped the car and said, hey, listen, put it into my car. It is that the election personnel. So I think this is something that the election commission, instead of focusing on what it should do to run a free and fair election, has been so busy in buying into the narrative of the BJP, transferring officials seems to be their main task, instead of actually ensuring the security of the polling process. Right. And these kind of lacunae come up in Assam, come up here. It's not so much BJP or TMC. It is the election personnel which are to be blamed.
The other strand which I'm trying to find the focus on the strands which are tying these elections together. The other strand, other than the one of Hindutva being used as a tool by the BJP, is of how this is being countered by parties like yourself here and by the DMK in Tamil Nadu, for instance, by playing a kind of sub-regional or sub-nationalist card, that the BJP is a party of outsiders and that they are in a way diluting vernacular cultures either in West Bengal or Tamil Nadu. Is that, Mahua Moitra, sufficient to take on the BJP? Because at the end of the day, it is a national party. So is it really correct to position it as outsiders when they come and campaign in any election?
Please understand, Basu, that our election is being run on two main flanks. The first is the work that we've done for the past 10 years, and the second is what we're going to do for the next 5 years. Those are our two main flanks. In addition to that, when we have, now the BJP is positioning itself as you must understand, their narrative is we are winning bingo. We have already won bingo. We are winning with 200 seats. This is what is being thrown every single day. You have leaders of the BJP who come in, who don't understand, who don't speak the language, which is fine. Not everyone has to speak every language. But they are trying to position themselves as more Hindu than the Hindus, as more loyal than the Queen, and as more Bengali than the Bengalis. And that is something that we have a problem with. Devi Gowda stood on the ramparts of the Red Fort and gave a speech in English, written in whatever speech, and that was fine. He was the Prime Minister of the country. We have no problem. But when you have a Prime Minister who's coming here, mocking the language, saying, we need asshole parivartan and we need whatever, pode chap, then I don't think that goes down very well with the Bengali population. I think there is something left West alone, and I think this is something the Prime Minister is unfortunately making a fool of himself. It's not something that we are doing.
You think his Bengali, you think his election time Bengali is not up to scratch? I mean, it's election time.
It's not up to scratch, and I understand, and it's
election time.
And it's fun and games for everyone, and we're all having a good laugh about it. That's okay. But even jokes aside, I do think that this trying to position themselves as more Bengali than the Bengali, more Hindu than the Hindu, is backfiring on them, because Bengal, you must understand, is